I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. I got some oceanfront property in Arizona. From my front porch, you can see the sea. Right up next, the Grand Canyon Grand Hoax. Right now, I am the Flat Earth Atheist. And by atheist, I don't buy none of the shit. When you come into the truth movement, you're going to be pushed towards a Christian creator. And I'm going to give you a scenario about these crazy, self-defecating Christians and their overseer. A person like Apostle Paul, at the end of times, would meet his maker, and his maker is going to go, Apostle Paul, you was mentored by Nero Caesar the Beast. He killed tens of thousands of Christians. You yourself killed thousands of Christians. You claim to be a wretched poor man, but actually your family was very, very wealthy. I mean, you supplied the tents for the Romans who was occupying Jerusalem. So your family and you were very, very wealthy. Also, you claim to see my son when I taught my son to tell everybody once he resurrected, if anyone seen him like in the desert or over there, that they was lying. If my son was coming back, everyone would see him at the same time, not individually. So you lied about that. You didn't see my son. Matter of fact, your story changes a couple of times. But Apostle Paul, come on down and get into heaven. Because you wrote a couple of books about me, and you seemingly worship me, so get your ass over here, buddy. And then I would come before their creator. Flat Earth Atheist, huh? Okay. Man. When my people were thirsty, damn, you gave them water. Wow. When they was hungry, you gave them food. When they needed clothes, you gave them clothes. When they needed shelter, you helped them with shelter. You're the kind of guy that I like. But you didn't worship me. So, Flat Earth Atheist, I think, atheist, you have to go to hell. Because although you helped my people, you didn't worship me, you son of a bitch. So you have to go to hell. Flat Earth Atheist. Good luck. Meanwhile, I haven't killed one person and do not want to kill one person. But there are Apostle Paul who killed thousands. We're getting to heaven. and I haven't killed one person. This is how sick and twisted these Christians are. They would rather have a person who killed thousands of them than a person who didn't kill any of them just because that person who killed thousands of them worshiped their Lord. See how sick and twisted those bastards are? And if you choose to go that way, you are a sick, twisted bastard yourself. Good luck. Okay, right now, the Grand Canyon. The Grand Illusion. Now, this is going to take you about 20 minutes of worth of research. And you say, Steve, Flat Earth Atheists, why you don't show us the research? Because if I do, you'll say, Flat Earth Atheist, you a lying son of a bitch, and I don't believe you. But if I show you where to go and you see it yourself, ta-ha! Anyway, this is what I want you to do. Look up Lake Mead National Recreation Area. It's going to show you a massive land, that's a national park. In this Lake Mead National Recreation Area, you're going to see a water reservoir, a natural water reservoir that's going to feed water to the left of it and to the right of it. Okay? You're going to see this. Okay? Next thing I want you to do is find out where the Hoover Dam is. The Hoover Dam is right below this area. Pardon me. It's right below this area. Okay? So what I want you to get in mind, this park area feeds the whole park plus where the Grand Canyon is. Okay? It feeds all, it used to feed this. When they built the Hoover Dam, they started suffering all that water, or getting all that water to go into the Hoover Dam so they can spread it out to the desert of Las Vegas. If you wonder where Las Vegas is getting their water, they're getting it from the Lake Mead National Recreation Center Park. That's supposed to supply that whole park plus the Grand Canyon. But these bouncers are sucking the water from there, and that water that's supposed to be filling the Grand Canyon is going to Las Vegas instead. Hoover Dam in Nevada, and then in Arizona, where the Grand Canyon, they right next to each other. That Lake Mead National Recreation Area, that park, that water reservoir feeds right into Hoover Dam. Okay? So all they doing is taking the water that's supposed to go into Hoover Dam and siphoning it over to, all the water that's supposed to fill up the Grand Canyon, apologize. All the water is supposed to fill up the Grand Canyon naturally by this natural water reservoir. They siphon it over to Hoover Dam, the desert, to help supply water to them. That's why the Grand Canyon looks like it does. For people who do tubing, you might see this better. You see, most of our tubing is doing on limestone. But you can see the rigid marks that it makes, the different colors, and how it shaped the landscape differently. You can see that when you're tubing. You're doing anything else, you might not see that, but tubers should see that. See the landscape and riffle like this, and with different colors, and where the water used to be here, used to be here, used to be here, used to be here. Okay? And so you can see that. And it's nothing same as the Grand Canyon. It's just made of different stone. And the waters made those riffle things. And it would still be there. Just like water would still be everywhere else where you see it, but they create dams and they take the water from us and claim that we don't have very much water, which is bullshit. They just hide the water. If they release the dams, it'll be fucking water everywhere. They build dams to control the water. Okay? Just understand that. Alright, so there's nothing special about the Grand Canyon. It will be full of water. They just take the natural water from Lake Mead National Recreation Area. Look it up. You'll see the natural water reservoir that's supposed to go and fill the Grand Canyon. They just take it and cipher it into Hoover Dam. Simple as that. Look that shit up. Look up that recreation area and look up Hoover Dam. You'll start laughing. It'll be very clear to you what's going on. Furthermore, if you have, I live in Austin, Texas, if you have places in your city that floods, one thing I started noticing is it's a place, it's an area in our city called Metropolis. It's an area. And basically when I look back, it's on the top of a hill. I mean, if you come from different areas, you can see that you have to, it's an incline to get to it, but it floods. Okay? And plus, it has the Colorado River near it. Okay? Same thing, it's a street called North Lamar. It's kind of where North Lamar turns into South Lamar. That area, it floods all the time. But it's the Colorado River is right over there. You know, all that water, I mean, and it's like a downhill. All the way to the Colorado is downhill. Wouldn't it seem like all that water would rush down the hill? But instead of building up and flooding, well, I found out I got an old map. It's a natural water reservoir underneath that North Lamar area and underneath that Metropolis area. And that's why they flood all the time. Because the water can keep going down as long as dirt, but when it hits water, it can't go nowhere. It butts up against each other. The only way it can go is up. Can't go down once it bump up against water. It bump up against dirt and everything else, it can keep going down. It hits water, they don't have no place to go but back up. And that's why you have flooding in your areas. Get an old map of your city. If you see places that floods a lot, I would guarantee you that's water, natural water reservoirs that float under those areas, and that's why they flood. Okay? So just to make sure that we're on the same page, the Grand Canyon, the Grand Hoax ain't shit. They just taking the water that should be in it and siphoning it over to Hoover Dam. Case freaking closed. Look it up. You'll see. And if you agree with me, give me a thumbs up. All right? Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Maybe.